during of course, they've been in the studio with us many times, but of course during Jawbone Jam this year. And I didn't know this. The band Cattle, who's now back on the road out doing shows, especially around our neck of the woods, came out here and played a pro bull riding event in Cody. He said they sort of rode into the arena. He said, man, we were riding on the actual dirt where they do the rodeo. He said it was a fun time they played a show out here. I bet that what a good fit, their music and this culture out here. But yeah, that's my buddy Jimmy and Eric doing that for us years ago. Leland Live on the road theme, America's 250, as we keep on trucking this afternoon. Douglas Cooling and Heating, ready to bring you the show tonight. I'm telling you, Jay and his team, just on top of it when it comes to all of the stuff they've got going on. When it comes to repairs and especially in this high maintenance season where you're stressing your system out to the max, you need to get that service work done. I stress that almost all the time when it comes to heating and air service, because I learned that lesson myself years ago. It was just it's not always the age of your system. If you're starting to have repairs, things are going wrong, it's just not going to get better unless you're on top of it. And you got to keep it running efficiently. It's just the best comparison I have for us non-air conditioner people is it's like your car. You wouldn't think about just driving it, never changing the oil or checking the brakes. You got to do this maintenance, and it's a mechanical part of your home. And with peak efficiency, it's not sucking the money out of your wallet trying to keep up with the heat. It's running better, it's stronger, and it's just smart work. Now, my advice is get to know Douglas. Let them just come do some service for you. And when you see how they work and what they do, when you do have an emergency, if the air goes out in this heat, or if you have trouble this winter, then you got them on speed dial. You're in their system. They know where you live. They'll be out there as quickly as possible to get this kind of stuff done. And I even subscribe to the twice-a-year service plan where they come out a couple of times a year and just give it a bath, give it a little tune-up, take it to the spa, and let that thing breathe so it can take good care of you in the extreme weather, which we're in right now. It is, of course, calldouglas.com. Very simple. They've been with me for 17 years. 17 years of home ownership and different things I've had to do, and you can trust them too. Calldouglas.com. Just as we get all fired up to do this hour, let me give you all a weather report from Cody, Wyoming. The wind picked back up, then it slowed back down, then I got a little rain again. So I'm out here, I'm doing battle, but it's just such a beautiful place to be doing this kind of stuff. Let me flip back over to the arena for the folks just tuning in. I'll describe what we're doing right there. If you're watching on camera, is the Night Rodeo Stadium here in Cody, Wyoming. They called themselves the rodeo capital of the world. In fact, the state flag's got a rodeo cowboy on it, so what are you going to do? And they take pride in this. One of our guests earlier, who's big part of this rodeo culture, he's got a podcast, does all these things out here, travels around with these rodeos. And I had forgotten this. They do this for like 90 nights in a row during the summer. Every night, weather can be a cancellation thing, which happened to us the last time we were out here. They wound up canceling their night rodeo, but I'm hoping to be able to take it in this evening. It's because we're an hour in Alabama, an hour ahead of them. Their gates don't even open till 7 here, which is 8 o'clock at night our time. So sadly, I can't really show you any images of the actual rodeo going on. But there it is. That's the arena. Is a lot of folks buzzing around out here on their tractors and horses and getting things done. Folks over in the cowboy camp chilling, waiting to do their part tonight and compete in this beloved culture and sport out here in the American West. Y'all come on out here and visit this place sometime. 545-9950 is the phone number. If y'all want to get in on the show, get on in here. Don't let me neglect the headlines. I could sit here and just talk about Wyoming till somebody asked me online. They said, what's your favorite state of the states? I'm going to tell you, it's a little bit of a battle, but I think I got to, well, it's not really. Wyoming's my favorite state out here. It just is. There's so much about it that I love. Secondly, I'd probably have to say South Dakota. There's something about not just the landscape of South Dakota, but the folks that live out there. I like Montana okay, but I haven't spent as much time there. And I loved Colorado coming through there. Colorado's just a little bit weird. It's kind of California in the mountains, but a beautiful, stunningly gorgeous state here in the American West. So there you go. People ask. There you go. Let's do the headlines, as I promised. looks like we're shooting at Iran again. We got some developments tonight where we're getting some reports in that we're continued bombing this evening. The markets didn't like it today. The oil markets didn't shoot up like the Iranians would hope. You know, it's really the politics of oil at the end of this that is the leverage that both us and the Iranians are using. There's a lot of talk that and we've ended their, quote, license to be able to sell their product to the world market. So for a while they had some breathing room. They were given that license. They were able to start selling oil again after years of sanctions, and they just blew it by continuing to shoot at other people transporting oil through the Strait, because their goal is to drive up the price to put pressure on the American administration. Our goal is to keep them from having a nuclear weapon and threatening the Strait. And so economic pressure may be even more effective than some of the bombing, but we've got to take the gun out of their hands. I say we take their hands off the gun by just blowing them up and getting rid of the whole infrastructure. But it's deeper than just the religious leadership. That IRCG is hard to get to. They're like termites in the walls of that country. They're everywhere. They've got outposts and stations and commanders in 12 different parts of the country. So there's going to be a lot more talk about the Iran situation over the next few days. Shooting apparently again from us toward them at night. Alarm bells going off in some of their neighboring countries. They may be able to fire off some more missiles, intermediate type missiles that can reach their neighbors. They've done that since yesterday too, without success. The missile defense systems have been performing quite well, despite all this nonsense that Russia has a hypersonic system that they've sold Iran, and we can't stop it. We haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen anything effective from them. And the Chinese are a joke. The Chinese are absolutely a joke on this issue. We have exposed that they're selling crap air defense systems and missile systems to the rest of the world, claiming to be high tech, and their systems suck. And that's good news for us in the innovation of America and the things we do. Capitalism, baby. So anyway, that's the latest on that. The other story, and this story bores me to tears, and we did talk about it yesterday, is this Plattner character up in Maine. Fox News is like on a death watch. They're obsessed with this guy's story, but apparently a bunch of people have focused on his house in Maine. They got TV news cameras outside of his, looks like a little blue house with a porch on it in Maine. By the way, this guy comes from Welt, so I don't know why is he even living there, but whatever. He fakes like he's some blue-collar everyman, but he's clearly not. And so so here's this freak show of a human being. I mean, just a disgusting douchebag who the Democrats are stuck with, and they're trying to pressure him out, and he hasn't done it yet. The theory is he is leveraging his successor. Now, again, whoever they were to choose to take the place of this loser, they've got till Monday to do it, and they're gathered at his house. He's holding meetings. It's like he's holding the state hostage, particularly the Democrat Party, until they can do something to satisfy his demands so he'll get out of the way. What a disgusting situation. So all the cameras, again, are outside of his house. I don't know who's available to them. They had their governor, who's like 300 years old. She's sort of the Kay Ivey of Maine. She was in the race, then had to duck out. She's got her own scandals that haven't been out as exposed as possible. I think that's why she dipped early. Some of that stuff was coming. She tried to confront Trump. You remember she tried to confront Trump at the White House one time, and he stared her down. She's just an old hag. They could pull her back out because she's technically before their primary, she was still on the ballot. So at least she was on the ballot and attempted to run for the position. So if there are any updates on that, I'll let you know, but I don't see anything big. They're saying he's going to make a decision by the end of the day to get out. Then I suppose, unless they've got somebody lined up, the party officials have just got a matter of days. This is Kamala Harris all over again. This is where they have a candidate that's fallen apart on them, predictably so, and then they believe the backstop candidate. You watch what they do. The minute they, just like they did with Kamala Harris, they'll whip up this false sort of AstroTurf enthusiasm for the candidate, which we now know was bought and paid for during the Harris days by millions and millions of dollars, paying celebrities, paying rappers to show up and perform, trying to buy enthusiasm and present that to the world. The world didn't buy it. And I don't know how Mainers are weird people anyway. Just they vote weird. It's a whole different. They're more Canadian, it seems to me, than anything. I've met some incredibly wonderful people from there, but they'll tell you their state's kind of weird. So if there's any headlines on that, for those of you that happen to be following it, we'll let you know about that this afternoon too. Let me flip to a completely different story outside the realm of politics. Just stupid, weird. I saw this headline about an hour ago and ignored it. I thought, this can't be real. You have to do that in the culture that we're in nowadays, in the age that we're in nowadays. There's so much weird, sensational stuff that's posted online. So I saw this story where a flight instructor who was teaching a student how to fly a plane. This is apparently, I think this happened in Argentina. This flight instructor, they're in the air. And now TMZ is reporting it, and several other sources that are a little more mainstream are reporting it. Listen to this one, AJ. They're up there flying. The instructor decides to commit suicide. So he stands up and jumps out of the plane with no parachute. But before he jumped out of the plane, he looked at the student and says, "You know what to do." In other words, you know how to land this plane. I'm out. So he just jumped out of the plane with no parachute and committed suicide, and left the student to land the plane, which apparently the student didn't land the plane. How weird. I guess there's a lot of ways to go.
Well,
this guy chose that.
Kind of sucks if you're the student, but it just kind of reminds me, like, I'm sorry for the guy who lost his life, but that's how I learned how to swim. My brother just threw me into the water and was like, hey, get to the edge. And then
My dad did this. My dad dropped me off a bridge over the Weehawkee Creek and said, "Don't drown." So I guess she got a little a lesson in flying, and maybe she's a better pilot for it. But this douchebag committed suicide and left that hanging around this student. I think it was a she. I think it was a female. I'm just seeing TMZ report that. That's sensational. There's a picture of the guy here. Here's what they say about the story. It says a flight instructor in Argentina jumped to his death in the middle of a training flight, abandoning a student midair and forcing them to land the plane all by their lonesome. They're using generic pronouns so far. This pilot, they give his name, Bertazzo, I think is his last name, was flying the plane Saturday teaching 22-year-old student Rosario, somebody, and he turned to her, okay, it was a woman, and he said, "You know what to do, you know what you have to do, carry on." And then he took off his headset, unbuckled his seatbelt, opened the door, and jumped out. According to their prosecutors that are looking into it, Rosario was able to land the aircraft safely despite being absolutely shook. And according to a CNN affiliate down there, the director of the Flying Parrot Cordoba Flying School, come on, man, are you going to go to the Flying Parrot to learn how to fly?
No.
Anyway, maybe that's an honorable thing to parrot down there. I don't know. They said there were no signs that the pilot was planning to kill himself. He had reportedly gone on a flight with another student earlier in the same day. It's not yet known what caused him to exit the aircraft mid-flight, but prosecutors are launching an investigation. Crazy. Maybe he's just sick of hearing about Taylor Swift's wedding and he couldn't do it anymore. I mean, that's my guess. I don't know. Maybe it's something to do with football. Who knows? That story out of Argentina today, very bizarre. Y'all, Birmingham Broker, ready to help you get that car moved. If you got one for sale, car, truck, SUV, whatever you got, they can sell it. And Craig reached out to me a couple of days ago. I was wrapping up vacation, and I know Craig really well. He's the most chill guy in the world, but he had a sense of urgency, and that urgency was, dude, I need cars. He said, tell your audience, bring their stuff. We've sold everything on the lot. Buyers are lining up nowadays. I think some of the finance terms are better nowadays, so buyers are looking for stuff that is a good situation for sellers. So if you got one to sell, maybe you're just thinking about trading one in because you got your eye on something else. Look, let Birmingham Broker do it for you. You'll get more money. You will get more money than doing it by yourself, and especially trading it in at a dealership. That's just bad math. We got some wonderful dealers, but I don't blame them. I wouldn't give you retail for your car anyway. They got to sell it. So the logic would dictate they're going to give you as little as possible so they can make money off yours. They're going to give you wholesale, and that's subjective. So just sell it retail. Sell it for what the market will bear, and do it right with Birmingham Broker. It's bhambroker.com, bhambroker.com, downtown 4th Avenue South. If y'all want to get down there and meet Craig or Keith, I'm telling you, it's so easy. You just basically turn it over to them, give them a few days, and it's gone. You get a big old fat check. Life is good. Beham, he needs some cars. Get them down there. Trucks too, SUVs, all of it. He needs stuff on the lot. BehamBroker.com. BehamBroker.com. Looking at, I'm in the skies of Cody, Wyoming right now. I'm keeping the camera off me right now, AJ, because my cowboy hat blew off and I got wild. I'm looking wild right now. I'm wind blown. We're gonna look at some nature this afternoon. America's 250 Leland live on the road back here in just a minute. All right, y'all, let's do this thing again. Alabama Gold Refinery bringing you the show tonight. Steve over there in Homewood ready to help you get fixed up. If you want to buy, sell, trade any of these things, Steve will get it done for you. This is what they do, man. They have set up really an exchange. It's not a bank, but it's a place to go and manage these kind of assets, whether you want to take some cash and start building your collection with the privacy of just you and Steve. I mean, you can go put that stuff anywhere. There are also some tax incentives to purchase gold here in Alabama in particular. Talk to Steve about all that. And then, of course, if you've got scrap or you just have collectible pieces that you'd rather convert now to cash because you want to do something else with that money, take it over to Steve. They'll give you fair value. They put the commodities pricing on their website every single day. They track it and look at it and just do the deals with you. And it's just a fun shop, too. I always think about as we have turned the halfway point of the year and we start heading toward Christmas, I think it's a cool thing to do. I think I'm going to start doing it this year with my grandkids, is giving them a little piece of silver or something. With 5 of them, gold may be how much would 5 ounces of gold cost right now? About $25,000 or something. But now, if you were to just give them a little silver coins and let them start collecting it, it's real, it's tangible. You can put it in their little hands, start them on understanding the math of it and how things grow. It's a nice little lesson to teach them. Fun stuff over at Alabama Gold Refinery there in Homewood, across from the big Regions Bank right there on 29th. Y'all can find them, agralabamagoldrefinery.com. Well, watching the comings and goings over here at the Cody, Wyoming Night Rodeo, the Cody Stampede. This is a big deal in this part of the country. And, man, I was just so impressed that they're able to pull this off every night, weather permitting. And I see some of the cowboys over there lining up and getting ready to put the horses. What you're looking at there, if you're watching on our Real Talk TV channel, is that's sort of I just call it a practice arena where they just do the warm-ups. We saw them out there doing some roping drills earlier before our show started, and I'm sure that activity is going to pick up here in just a little bit too, as the rodeo itself doesn't start till 9 o'clock at night back in Alabama. It's the actual activity and the performances start at 8, and then of course they go on into the evening with the competitions, and they do it every night all summer long for the tourists and for the locals. So we're just hanging out here this afternoon on one of our stops on this road trek out west. The headline this hour, though, is, of course, and I'm trying to keep up with it as best I can during the breaks, is, of course, we've got new fresh bombing from the U.S. into several targets in Iran. Most of the region is braced for Iran to try to lob something in one direction or another. Central Command now says that forces have started conducting additional strikes to further degrade the ability for the Iranians to threaten freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz. The United States is holding Iran accountable. So here we go with that again. We'll see how the markets react. Bottom of the hour. We'll be back here in just a minute. Let's go to the phones, too. If y'all want to get in on it, bring it. We'll chat this afternoon. 545-9950 is the phone number. Leland Live, Talk 99.5. Y'all hang on. Man, All American Metal's ready to get you dried in. Maybe I should get an All American metal shed that I could take with me on these live remotes, AJ, and just put over myself. Bring some steel with me and just put it over these cameras and all this equipment when we're out here on the outdoors. Yeah, that wouldn't be practical. But what is if you've got a pole barn project, or even in business, if you've got something that needs to be done, All American Metals can absolutely do it efficiently and effectively. It's a turnkey operation where they do everything: the design work, producing the materials, packaging it all together, and bringing it to you on their trucks. They manufacture everything in here, in Alabama, around Birmingham, and I just think the world of these guys. Good patriots. Maybe that's why they called their company All American in the beginning. Been doing this stuff, two families together doing these steel products since the 1960s. And maybe you just need some steel for an ongoing project like residential red iron. Man, I had to learn all about that when I went over and toured the factories. But, a lot of people will use iron in staircases and sometimes structural or ornamental things, even in residential products, and they'll produce those very custom things for you as well. In addition to all the commercial things that you could do with steel nowadays, of course, it is, All American Metals. You can get them at aa-metal.com, aa-metal.com. Y'all reach out to those guys and let them come take care of you too. They're just really, really tops at what they do. Hey, I'm going to tell you, their price is better. Their turnaround is quicker than you go to some of these larger operations that are nationwide. Take them forever. They'll get that stuff turned around, and not only on the design work, but the production of the materials, they'll get that to you. It's aa-metal.com, aa-metal.com. We're live here in Cody, Wyoming, where the scent of manure is all in the air all around this rodeo arena. Can you imagine how many tons of horse dump and cattle dump and bull squeeze has been dug into the ground here over the years? That is what you can't see. Let me see if I can play around with the camera some, show you all around just a little bit. I am dealing with some wind issues right now, so y'all bear with me as I try to control these things. So that's sort of a practice arena. If you can look in the back, you can start to see some horses moving in. There must be 100 horses back there. Even further over, let's see if I'm going in the right direction. Let me go back the other way. There's some really individual horse stalls. That's my cowboy hat. I got that back on, AJ. There's some individual stalls just right there. Can you see the center next to the porta potties?
Mm-hmm.
You might be able to see the top of that horse by that big pile right there. All the way down through there, those rows that you see after that truck goes through are just some beautiful horses, I guess, getting ready to perform tonight. It was fascinating to me. I talked to, last time I did one of the larger rodeos in Cheyenne, I was able to talk to one of the guys that handles the bulls. His whole job was to pick out these bulls from the bull breeders around the country and do the logistics of just, you think about the cowboys registering and the cowgirls registering and all these competitors, but just bringing that. Now the horse riders tend to bring their own horses, but sometimes you got these bulls that get assigned in these bull races. And I looked around here, I can't see the bulls from here, but they're here on site, as it'll be part of the events here at the nighttime rodeo here in Wyoming. Man, I was hold on, let me get my, I'm trying to do 15 things at once right here. Let's get this camera reoriented and see if I can hit that button and get it back over there on the practice arena. By the way, AJ, my hat's, you hear that horse in the background?
Yeah.
My hat, they're starting to fire up over there. I think they're about to start doing some more practicing over there. The weather starting to blow on out of here. It never really dumped on us, and you can see the skies in the background have kind of cleared up. It's moving a little bit more toward downtown Cody right now. This arena is about 4 miles outside of the little town of Cody. And by the way, I talked about it earlier on the show. We had one of the guys over here that does a radio podcast. I might get him back over here. He was exceptional. And he was talking all about downtown Cody as well. And my urging of folks from Alabama, it would make logical sense for you if you're ever going to drive out to Yellowstone or approach Yellowstone to come from the east side, because we live on the east side of this giant park. But come through Cody and spend some time there. It's a nice base camp. It's about an hour from the east gate. Lots of lodging opportunities. Some people try to get closer or stay in the parks, and I know that's cool. They've got lodges in the parks and restaurants and campgrounds and all that stuff, and it's difficult to get in. But I I like base camping in a real town and getting to know people that live around here. Because if you go inside the park, it's just nothing but tourists, a lot of foreign tourists and American tourists, and just crowded and lines and stuff like that. Believe it or not, in those wide open spaces, the places you want to go can get congested. But there in the town, you're hanging out with the locals and some incredible establishments and history museums. And I'm going to be tomorrow. We'll be hanging out at the Irma Saloon and Hotel, a legendary place in the middle of Cody. We did a show there years ago. We didn't have our cameras with us, and so we'll be on the inside and not in the sun and the wind and the rain tomorrow. But there's no way to do the rodeo but to be out here in it. So here we are, looking around and hanging out in Cody. I had a question, like, tell us some embarrassing road stories, because I told I told the story a little while ago of me taping up the motorhome because I had a little incident. AJ, I did one of the dumbest things, and I did not mean to do it, and I felt bad, and I saved some of these stories. I was looking down my list of stupid stuff Leland does on the road. So I think we were in, I want to say Moab. Yeah, some of the stuff starts to run together when you've been out on the road this long. Yeah, I can't get that camera to go back over. So I'm in the Moab area, and I go in this restaurant. We really liked the place and wound up going back there a second time. So we had the same waiter both times. Real funky dude. It's kind of funky around Moab. These are real outdoorsy folks and kind of earthy folks. And this dude, I don't know how to describe him. He's probably my age, and I'm trying to be nice here, but I have to tell this part of the story. But he had some really jacked up teeth. You know what I'm saying? Like, just he had some just bad teeth, some rot and stuff going on. Right? I'm not making fun of him. I have to tell you that to tell the stupid thing I did. So naturally, Jessica just wants to go shopping. So I said, just go ahead, because I'd rather be sitting there finishing my coffee than standing around waiting on her to do that. So she ran down the street to buy some more stuff, souvenirs or whatever, and I'm hanging out ready to pay. And homeboy comes out, did you enjoy everything? I said, I absolutely did, man. You've been great. And I really tipped the crap out of him the first time. So he comes and he brings me the bill, and you pay at the table now quite a bit, and I like that. So I opened my wallet. I got my wallet out and to pull my card out, and you know what I put down on on the little thing where they put the bill? I put my dental card from this. I didn't mean to. It was in there with my health insurance and my driver's license and my pay cards. I put that dental card down on the bill, and I went, oh man, that's my dental plan. You don't need that. And then I put it back. He goes, oh, I really need that.
Oh.
And I didn't think about it. I thought, oh God, did he think I did that on purpose? I didn't mean to do that. Of all the waiters I could have pulled that out on, is this poor guy. He made a joke out of it. He was real funny about it. He goes, that's the best tip I've had all year. And I was like, sorry, man. Here's my money.
That's funny.
Yes, homeboy got a much bigger tip than he even did the day before, because I felt bad. I just felt bad. He took off, and I can't stand it when they hover when you're doing the tip. So he took off to go to the back while I was writing out the tip. So I wrote that thing out and got the hell out of there. I can't go back to Moab now. I'm afraid I'm going to run into him. I didn't mean to do that. You ever do something like that? You just didn't mean to do it? Didn't mean to say
all the
it?
time, yes.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, and I wish I can, have the magical powers where I can hit the rewind button and all those words would just... or I can, before it goes off into the other person's ears, do you want them to hear this? And then you be like, no.
No. We have a dump button at the station. We call it the dump button, and we can hit it. Our show actually runs a little bit delayed. What you're hearing now, I actually said about what, AJ, 7 or 8 seconds ago, maybe 20 seconds at some stations. And it's so that if somebody says something that FCC banned word, or if I say something like that, AJ dumps me more than the callers. It kind of goes back to live, and then it catches back up, and it really in real time can edit out whatever just happened. It's just a safety switch. Every radio station has it. And if we had one of those in life, I'd probably use it at least twice a week, where I could just hit a button and erase the last 20 seconds. One of those little Men in Black pins is like, stare at the light, dude. I didn't mean to pull that. Didn't mean to do the dental card on you, man. I wasn't even thinking about that. Boomer is on line 1. What's up, Boomer?
Hey, brother. I've been praying for a good, safe trip for you. In honor of America 250, I've got a little trivia question for you.
Okay.
Which state out of all the 50 states has the least amount of escalators in it?
Okay. I'm gonna have to guess Wyoming since I'm here. I can't imagine there'd be
Bingo.
even. I can't imagine there'd be one escalator in the state. Why?
Yep.
I wonder why that is. They don't have a
two-
lot of multi-story buildings, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. But there's 2 escalators in Casper, Wyoming, and Wyoming holds the record for the least amount of escalators.
All right, I'm gonna bring
Brother.
that up in my next conversation and watch people look at me.
But brother, I appreciate all the coverage from out of town. I love it when you go out of town and come on the radio and describe. And now we get to see it on YouTube. It's awesome.
Thanks,
I've
man.
been using the 99.5 app, and it comes through a whole lot clearer than it does on YouTube. And I just want to say thank you for taking us along with you, man.
All
And
right,
be
man.
safe.
That's very kind of you. It's more work. People, thank you, Boomer. I'm not complaining. I love being on the road. I like the driving. I don't mind the driving at all, but just trying to move to the next town every day and then set all this stuff up again and work something out and then sit here for 4 hours. It's a challenge. We take some chances like we've done already this week with the wind and the sun and the rain. But hey, man, that's nothing ventured, nothing gained. Trying to shake it up a little bit and bring y'all something different in the summer times, and really help us maybe along the way as we meet more people, get reconnected with folks that really believe like you do. So don't you feel kind of isolated sometimes, like the world's closing in, the rest of the world's gone mad? The internet will make you feel that way. You know what'll make you, what'll erase that? Just get out there and meet people in other parts of the country, and you realize, you know what, we've got a lot more in common in this country than we don't. The people that would like to end this country want us to think otherwise. They want us to think that we're at each other or we're falling apart. You come out into a place 2,500 miles from home right now, and man, they believe the same things we do. They love their country and they want to do what they do and do it in freedom, and that's refreshing. Here's Gary over on line 4. What's up, Gary?
How's it going, Leland?
Hey, man.
I got a good one for you. A
Okay.
real good tip story. A couple of my buddies and I were down in Panama City a long time ago when I was in my early 40s. And, of course, 3 o'clock in the morning, we're totally wasted. Don't go into a Waffle House whenever you're wasted and you're going to sit there and give a tip. Because
Yep.
I sit there and, I got the All-Star special, and, we're going to give her just $3 tip. Well, the lady, we got in a vehicle, and all of a sudden the lady comes running out. Thank you, just screaming, thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you. And I'm like, oh, this lady acts like she's never got a $3 tip before. Well, the next morning, I reach for my money and stuff, and I notice I'm missing 3 $100 bills. So that's what you don't do.
Oh my gosh! You just put down. You threw 3 honeys down there and walked out like a stud. Yeah, I got you.
And she ran out just screaming and hollering, thank you.
You know, I had a weird.
Leland.
Thanks, buddy. I had a weird incident in Jackson. You just reminded me of it. Not weird, but believe me, I'm not complaining. But every now and then, AJ, do you get like this? I'm a little tired of holding bags while she shops. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
I get this 1,000-yard stare, and I love that she enjoys all that. But most of these tourist tents, it's more, the shopping is really more for women. Now, Jackson had a lot of cool guy stuff, but there wasn't much else for me to look at, and I didn't want to stand around and, here's how it goes. She'll go, what do you think of this? And I'll tell her, and she'll buy something else. Because I think she just wants to know what's ugly, so she asks me. And if I like it, she'll, so I'm of no use. I'm not a fashion guy. I'm like, go call one of your gay friends. I don't know. I don't know about that top. So, but I love it when she's just on her own. And so I always try to find a bench. That is gold. You find a good bench you can just sit on for a while. So I found this favorite little spot I would just go and sit. And she was in there trying on something. I don't know what. And this dude walked off. He had his whole family there. And I had the dogs. He had his dogs. We talked for a second. They had the dogs. And this whole family was there. And when they walked off, I think it was at least $400 or $500 bills on the ground. Just, they had dropped a wad of just plain cash right where they were standing. And I knew it was one of them. And so I started yelling. I mean, just like a crazy person, to try to get the attention of any of them. And it was one of the younger girls in the back of the group that finally heard me. I look like some crazy guy. I was like, I think you dropped something right here. And everybody just quit talking. She came over and scooped up the money and ran back over to her family, and it was I think I heard her say it was my uncle's, and he just broke out in a sweat. Like that was his cash, that was his trip cash. So he came jogging back over to where I was sitting with the dogs. He goes, "Man, let me buy you a beer." And I was like, "No, dude." I said, I'd want somebody to let me know if I drop money too. But yeah, it's just things like that are going to happen from time to time. And I wouldn't have once thought about picking it up and keeping it. That's not my money. It's just not my money. All right, let's talk about Michelson Laser Vision for just a second. What a great family, the Michelsons. Now, I knew about the reputation of Dr. Mark for years. I had so many friends and family that had gone over to Michelson to get their eyes fixed, and then they'd come home bragging about it, telling me how great it was. And so I couldn't imagine in a million years getting LASIK done. I was squishy about the subject, didn't care about the subject, didn't want to do anything like that. And I'm just playing around with the cameras while I'm telling y'all about that. There's the entrance. We'll just focus on that for a minute. And so finally, I went down to Michelson just to do a tour. They wanted to come on the show. I wanted to know how the procedure worked. I knew he was great. I knew he was a legend and had really done the first laser work in Alabama, and kind of met him a few times. Had no doubt about the integrity of the place, but I wanted to be able to talk about it. And it was in that education that I kind of got over my hesitancy. A light bulb went off, and I went, this makes sense. So on a whim, I've told this story so many times over the years, I was like, okay, go ahead and examine me. Let me just see if I'm eligible. You'll have to do the same thing. If you're considering it, you got to find out if you're even eligible. Turned out I was an easy case. And I wish I'd done it years before when my friends kept telling me to do it. So I looked at Dr. Michelson. He looked at me and said, you'd be a piece of cake. We can absolutely make you see better. So I booked an appointment, and that was 7 years ago, and I'm still 2015. It really is miraculous to get the encumbrance of glasses and contacts out of your life. Now, those of you who are not a candidate, I'm not trying to rub it in because it hadn't been that long ago, but it's just it's an amazing thing. Well, there goes my wife on camera, AJ. She's just walking out through there with the dogs. Did you see her? She just took the dogs on a walk. She has no idea. She walked right through the shot. But yeah, Michelson Laser Vision. They're downtown UAB Highlands. Easy to get in, easy to get out facility. Y'all don't let the UAB thing throw you any. It's really easy to get in and out of Michelson, and they'll make you see better if you're eligible and if you choose to do it. MichelsonLaserVision.com, MichelsonLaserVision.com. Back here in a minute. All right, y'all, let's do this thing again. Hanging out here with the horses and the cows and the cowboys and the cowgirls in Cody, Wyoming. Just changing up the shot every now and then. We've been watching that storm move around. I think it's going to move out of here. For a minute there, I thought it could affect them having the rodeo tonight, and I hate that. But, man, I'm here tomorrow night too, so I'm going to get this thing. I'm going to get over here before you know it. Let me talk to you about Hueytown Pawn real quick. Tommy reached out yesterday during the show. I had not talked about them yet. He said, have you done our spot yet? I want to give you an update. I was like, bring it. And so I just do that with Tommy. I know it's going to be good. I said, what you got? And he just decided to do a blowout on the AR-15 pistols. Now, a lot of y'all have AR-15 long guns, and there's a pistol design. It's a little more compact, a little more portable. Would be a good tool in certain situations. But right now, he's got them in 5.56. He's got them in 300 blackout. He's got them in 7.62, and they're $399.99. There's a great price on any of those calibers. I know some people like to get a favorable caliber, and then you can just. I mean, I do that. When I was a 7.62 guy for a while, and then I could stock up on that ammo, and it'd work on all of the guns. But then I started buying some 5.56 stuff, so I've sort of flipped a little bit. If you're like that, well, they got all three choices right now in those AR pistols. That's a great price, and it will not last long. He's only got 50 of these things that he's putting up, and that sounds like a lot, but the way this audience reacts to those cells is y'all jump on it, and y'all will clean him out in a minute. You did that with those AR-12s. Every time he'd get a batch of those AR-12s, and he may still have some of those around. Those are real popular with the audience as well. So if you want to get to know some great people that are in the gun business over at Hueytown Pawn, get over there on Brook Lane Drive and get yourself a deal and get to know Tommy and Adam and those guys. Then you got that relationship. It's good to do business with people that you like and build that kind of trusting relationship with, and that's a good way to start with the deal on one of these AR pistols. So check that out. Hueytown Pawn, again, there on Brook Lane Drive in Hueytown. 545-9950 if you want to jump on the air with us. We'll put you on the radio. Another hour to go as we're hanging out here at the old Cody Rodeo. I'm about to go move some cameras around, AJ, and work on some stuff. And then we'll come right back. We'll do the top of the hour news and get some more headlines in here for you. The biggest story of the day so far is that we have resumed bombing in Iran again for the second night, picking out targets and punishing them for trying to blow up the peace deal. It looks like the end of the peace deal, but you never know with Trump. The one good thing I like about Trump in this scenario is he is as unpredictable as the Iranians, which is how you negotiate. You can't let them telegraph what they're going to do, or you telegraph what you're going to do. So they're getting popped tonight, and it couldn't happen to a nicer country. Back here in just a minute, leading live from the Cody Rodeo. Leading live, Talk 99.5, leading live on the road.